Hi guys, it's Graham again and welcome back to my channel. So today I am doing a book review. It's not something that I do often on my channel because I feel that it's not something that I do particularly well. I have just finished reading probably one of the most uncomfortable reads I have ever done in my life. I read this as part of a book club which is run by Julie over at the Hungry Bookworm, and so it's called the Backlisted Book Club, and the choice for October was Flowers in the Attic by Virginia Andrews. This tells the story of the Dollenganger family who have lost their father. Their father has died in a road traffic accident. They are left clearly destitute, and I think it's set during the 1950s. So the mother is a housewife. She doesn't work. She's not trained in anything. That in itself, from a feminist point of view, yeah, that's a trope that I'm not always keen on in books. But then it was written in a different time. This came out in 1979, and it was followed by many sequels over the next few years after that. This edition is from 1980, and I adore this edition. This edition makes me think of David Bowie, and it always has done. I don't know why, I just think it has that kind of vibe to it. My mum had this edition on her shelves when I was a kid. Not this copy, sadly. I think she got rid of it many years ago, but I grew up seeing this on her bookshelves, and I think she read it and reread it and reread it. It was one of her favourites. This is salacious. It's grubby. It's uncomfortable. Obviously, like I say, it tells the story of the Dollenganger family who their father has died. They are destitute. Rehashing everything I've just said. The mother comes up with a plan to relocate her and her 4 children. So the mother is called Corinne. The children are Chris, Kathy, Carrie and Corey. Carrie and Corey are 5-year-old twins, and Chris is, I think at the start of the story, he's like 14, almost 15, and Kathy is 12. And yeah, it turns out that Corinne's father is like stinking rich, absolutely filthy rich. But because of the shocking nature of who she was married to, he disinherited her and sent her away. She married her half uncle. So a bit of an incestuous relationship right in the offing, right there. And so she comes up with this plan to go home, to get back into her father's good books, and to be to inherit, basically to be written back into his will. They go back, but there is a catch. He doesn't know that she has children, and that would scupper all of her plans if it were to be found out that she had had children from this, let's face it, incestuous familial relationship. So the children are hidden in a room at the topmost part of the house, which joins on to the attic, which is humongous. This house is massive. And the children are locked up by their mother, essentially, and they are watched over by an evil witch of a grandmother who is a religious nut. She says that because they came from an unholy alliance, marriage between their mother and their father, who was their mother's half uncle, that they are unholy, they are unclean, they are the devil's issue. And it's supremely uncomfortable. She's a horrible, horrible character, and I haven't hated a book character so much since I read Professor Umbridge in one of the Harry Potter novels. She's a detestable, horrible woman. She constantly tells them that they can't, they can't look upon each other because it's sinful. They can't share a bed because it's sinful. The two brothers have to sleep in one bed. The two sisters have to sleep in another. And they were brought up to believe that, you could look at your brother's or sister's flesh. It didn't matter. Nakedness wasn't an issue, but this harridan of a woman makes it an issue. And these children are forced to live in this attic room. It's something like almost 4 years that they're up there. And obviously Chris and Kathy they're teenagers, they go through puberty, and yeah, it's uncomfortable. They hatch a plan to escape, and they manage to outsmart their mother. She's a horrible, selfish woman. She ends up marrying someone else. She constantly says that as soon as the grandfather dies, I'll let you out. We'll have riches beyond compare, and you'll never need to work. You'll be able to buy what you want. It'll be fabulous, but you have to do this for me. She gaslights them a lot in this book. They are being kept in an attic room on not a lot of food. They are not allowed outside, and when they come to her and say, when will we get to leave this room? When will we be able to live life normally? She sees it as a slight on her. I'm trying my best, but every time she comes to them, she's dressed in brand new clothes, she's got her hair all coiffed, reeking of expensive perfumes, dripping in diamonds and gold, and these children are getting sicker and sicker and sicker, and she is living the high life. To cut a long story short, it turns out that the father dies long before she says that he has, or admits to that he's died. She inherits his money, but one of the clauses in the will was that if it were ever found out that she had children from her first marriage, she'd be disinherited and would have to forfeit all of this millions in money. And of course, she's such a selfish woman that her children don't matter, and this money, this wealth, this power is everything that she craves. She's just a horrible, hateful, disgusting woman, and as is the grandmother. They are, when the food is delivered to them every day, they suddenly get sugared donuts delivered to them, and you later find out that the sugar on the donuts is laced with arsenic, and they get sicker and sicker, paler and paler, iller and iller, and the little male twin, Corey, he dies. And yeah, that's a major turning point for the other kids that are left. That's when they decide that they have to do something. They have to leave. They have to escape this prison that they've been in for almost 4 years, and it's just horrific. But in the meantime, Kathy and Chris, the older kids, more incest happens, and Chris ends up raping his sister, and I found that really, really uncomfortable to read. This took me about 10 days to read, and that for me is a long time for me to read a book, because it's not a long book. It's under 400 pages, but it was just supremely uncomfortable. I don't even know. I mean, it hasn't put me off, because as soon as I finished this, I went online and I bought the second in the Dollenganger series, which is Petals on the Wind, and I look forward to finding out about the continuation of the Dollenganger's story. But it was an uncomfortable read, a supremely uncomfortable read. The themes in this, like I say, incest, familial rape, murder, essentially, imprisonment, greed, neglect, violence, and these two children, the two older children, Chris and Kathy, their burgeoning sexuality. They've been in an attic, locked up with one another for the last 4 years, and they've seen each other grow into adults and enter and go through puberty, and it's dark. It's really dark. But yeah, it's not a book that I would reread again, but like I say, I am interested to read on in the series. I would recommend that you read this, but go into it knowing that it's not for the faint of heart. But yeah, so hopefully that was a good book review. I don't think I gave too much away. It's certainly a spoiler-filled review. But yeah, I felt I needed to talk about this book because of how it made me feel. I needed to get that out, because it did make me feel quite uncomfortable. I felt grubby, I felt dirty, and unclean, but I'm glad I read it, because you know, it's an experience, and it is out of my comfort zone. But I think on my Goodreads review of this, I said something like, if you don't leave your comfort zone and read something that's out with your parameters, how are you going to discover new things? How are you going to experience new authors, new genres? And this is a modern Gothic story, and it works. The sense of foreboding, the sense of imprisonment, just betrayal and sadness, and it is sad. It is really sad. But yeah, that's my review of Flowers in the Attic. Thank you so much for watching. Whatever you're doing, I hope you have so much fun doing it. Whatever you're reading, I hope you love it. Stay fabulous, be amazing, be yourself, stay safe, and I'll see you again soon for another video. Bye bye. So I can't get the balance right. You either see outside and don't see my face, or see my face and see nothing of outside. It's really not that bright. I can promise you that it's really not that bright outside. I film on my iPod, and yeah, so I just fancied a bit of a different viewpoint for today. I hope it turns out right. So yeah, let's get into it. Hi guys, it's Graham again, and welcome back to my channel.